rare adventures of Biggles.
At first, Biggles turned down Dr. Duck's proposition that he and his friends should go on an expedition to an island, which has suddenly appeared on the surface of the Atlantic. It seemed to be a purely scientific trip on which there would be no place for air police. But a chain of disturbing events has caused him to wonder. First, the threat by Howard Coleman, who tried to bribe him away from Dr. Duck. Then the attack on the old biologist's life, an attack which was undoubtedly instigated by Coleman. And there's yet another factor of which Biggles doesn't know. In the reading room of a big London library, Bertie and Ginger are poring through books and magazines in an effort to learn more of this strange Atlantic island. Suddenly, in a magazine article, Bertie discovers what he wants. Quickly, he and Ginger study the contents.
Well, what do you make of it, Bean?
This is it, all right. There's no question.
Well, there's question as to whether it's the same island.
No fear. The position is almost the same. It checks with the latitude and longitude of Old Donald's Island.
By jingo, so it does. Well, at least it's near enough to be suspicious, what?
The name at the head of the article makes me suspicious. If Howard Coleman wrote it, that's enough for me.
Sizzling sausages, yes. Here, undoubtedly and irrevocably, is the reason for his bally interest in Donald's enchanted island. Harriet, old darling, we've did it. We've achieved a masterpiece of jolly old detection.
Shut up, you ape. The librarian's coming over.
I couldn't care less, old Bean. The world's a wonderful place, and when we lissies are happy, we believe in saying so.
Please, gentlemen, please, I asked you before. You really must be quiet. This is a reading room.
Old sausage? Behold the successor to Sherlock Holmes, Charlie Chan, and Dick Tracy. We've detected.
Quiet, please, sir. You're disturbing everyone in the room. If you don't keep quiet, I must ask you to leave.
Harriet, old darling, tell the world that we have detected.
Oh, have a heart, Bertie.
Oh, no, dear me, no, please. Sir, please. Oh, dear, stop it, really, this is disgraceful. Stop it at once. Help, someone, please, help him. He's gone mad. Police, help.
There now, old Bean. That'll give you some idea of how we feel about it.
It's outrageous, disgraceful. I never in my whole... Absolutely outrageous. I'll call the police. That's what I'll do. I'm going to call the police.
Call away, old sausage, call away. We'll tootle old Harriet back for an answer.
You'll what?
Give you another toot on dear old Harriet. You see, we are the police.
We definitely established that it was Howard Coleman behind the shooting.
Not definitely enough to have him arrested for it, Algy. But we needn't have any doubts.
But, do you know why he's letting off pop guns about the Valley place?
No, we are stuck on that one. Old Donald knows Coleman well enough, but he couldn't suggest any reason why he should be interested in the island.
Coleman's a historian, quite a scholar by all accounts, but he has no interest in biology or geology or any of the ologies that go with brand new islands.
Did you blokes have any luck?
Oh, a little.
Oh?
Well, we contacted the Admiralty first. They told us all the nonsense we already knew about the island appearing from nowhere and being spotted by a couple of ships.
Nothing else?
They trundled out its latitude and longitude for us and told us that a naval cutter is being sent out to examine it in a day or two.
Well, that's interesting. Although we know the position, Donald Duck had it.
Did you go to the libraries?
3 of the bally things, old trout. First of all,
Oh,
there
cut
was
it out, Bertie. Tell them what we discovered. You'll take all night at this rate.
I was keeping it as a surprise. You know, like eating all the cake before touching the jolly old icing.
You found out something?
Only the best, old Bean. The jolly old works, no less.
And you've been gassing for all this time without saying a word?
What did you find? Quick, out with it.
In a magazine, we read an article by Howard Coleman.
Coleman?
What did it say?
It was really the story of a most ghastly bally pirate of about 300 years ago. Black Llewellyn was his name.
Coleman had unearthed some papers about this old bird, and among them was a will bequeathing all his loot to his heirs. He left a map with it, telling them where to find it.
What's all this to do with Donald's Island?
Well, quite a lot, old Bean. Black Llewellyn dumped his treasure on a bally island.
Well, most pirates did.
But this island disappeared. Coleman's theory was that the old pirate had hidden his loot on, well, a temporary island. One that had not long before come to the surface of the Atlantic and had since submerged again.
By jingo! He thinks this may be the same island.
He doesn't think, old Bean, he knows. The latitude and longitude of Black Llewellyn's island are almost identical with the figures given us by the Admiralty.
Then it is the same.
It could be, I suppose. I don't know much about these things, but I imagine it's possible for the same plot of land to be flung to the surface again after a few hundred years.
If it is the same one, old trout, somewhere aboard the bally thing there's thousands and thousands of quids worth of boodle.
That's why Coleman wants to get there quickly, before anyone reads his article and twigs to the same thing.
And he's obviously willing to commit murder rather than allow anyone else to go there. That's the bit I don't like. Blokes, first thing in the morning I'm going to see Raymond and ask to be assigned to this job. We'll go with Donald Duck, not as charter pilots, but as air police.
No, Biggles. It's quite out of the question.
You won't let me go, sir?
Of course not. Sometimes you and your friends seem to forget that you're air police officers of Scotland Yard. Your days of adventuring just for the heck of it are over.
You've got me wrong, sir. I'm not suggesting we go into this for the adventure, but to protect a man's life and see that murder isn't committed.
That's a bodyguard's job. Sheer waste of time for a detective air inspector, an air sergeant, and two perfectly good air constables.
But there's already been one attempt to kill Dr. Duck.
I'm not denying that there's crime concerned with it, Biggles. All I'm saying is that it has nothing to do with our branch. If you like, I'll pass the matter on to the department concerned and get them to pull in this fellow Coleman.
They'd prove nothing against him. I doubt if we'd even sheet home a charge against his chauffeur.
Then I suggest you put your friend Dr. Duck onto a good pilot and leave him to it. Our work is to hunt down crime when aircraft are required. Apart from ferrying the old man to the island, I can't see any necessity for an aircraft here.
If Coleman gets a plane to take him there, old Donald will definitely need a kite. For protection as much as transport.
If the crooks are using a plane, that's a different matter, but there's nothing to suggest that.
If they were flying over, you'd let us go?
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but it'd put a different complexion on it. After all, that would bring it into the field of aerial crime.
Thanks very much, sir. That's all I need.
What do you mean?
I'm lunching with my blokes at the Aero Club. Within an hour or two, I'll tell you who's flying Coleman to the island.
I've had. This food's positively scrumptious, what?
I don't feel like eating.
Albine, one always feels like eating.
Ulysses do, but then you haven't any soul.
You might as well eat, fellas. We won't learn any more by going hungry.
We could keep on asking the other members. Someone must know if Coleman's hired a pilot.
Sizzling sausages, Albine. We must have asked fully 500 before coming into lunch.
I'm beginning to think he isn't going by plane. Then we'll have no chance of landing the
Oh,
job.
never fear, old sausage. Something will trundle along. It always does.
It's trundling now. Start eating, blokes. Here comes that awful twerp Chester Haynes.
Oh, I can't stand that blighter. In this mood, I'm likely to clock him if he says anything out of place.
You'll do nothing of the kind. We may not like Haynes, but he's a darn good pilot. He's never done anything to us.
Apart from sneer at us and make wisecracks. If Ginge misses, I'll take a swing at him myself.
Shut up, Algy. He'll hear you.
Well, 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 look who's here. If it isn't the great Inspector Flatfoot and all the little Flatfeet.
Look here, Haynes.
Do you want something with us, Haynes?
Only to crow over you.
That'll be the day when you have something to crow about.
I have this time, chum. I've proved myself just a little bit smarter than you bright boys. I've landed a nice, fat little job which could have been yours for the asking.
Oh, what job is this?
A charter pilot. I fly a couple of bods out to an island in the Atlantic, then fly 'em back again. And chum, do I get paid for it.
Is one of the bods Howard Coleman?
That's the bloke. He told me you'd been high and mighty, the loyal little policeman.
You're the rotten type he would take on.
Oh, I say, now don't be rude, Ginge. We love dear Chester. We love the bounder dearly.
Eh?
He's it. He's the boy we want. He's Coleman's pilot.
Jingo, yes. This settles it. Get on to Raymond, Biggles. Now we're right for the job. It should be coming up now, Biggles.
What's that?
The island. The island, it should soon be in sight.
Well, it isn't. At least not yet. There's nothing in view but miles and miles of the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, but I say, that's ridiculous. I'm quite sure my reckoning's right. I've been charting the course all the way from England.
Yes, I know you have. But have you got the right position for the island?
Well, old boy, it's the position Donald gave me. And the bearings are the same as Bertie and Ginge got from the Admiralty.
Ah, dear, oh dear. And I'm afraid the inevitable's happened.
The inevitable? Well, what do you mean? What's that?
What's that? Just this. The confounded island appeared suddenly from the bed of the ocean. Now it's just as suddenly sunk back there again.
If the island has sunk, there will be no excitement ahead of the flyers. But has the island submerged? Is Coleman searching for it too? Listen again for this thrilling story in the next chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.